Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all having a nice weekend. I just got in from Pensacola about 45 minutes ago. Had a good day down there, stocked up on a few supplies. So I was super happy. Got 2 boxes of mangoes. I got a nice big piece of jackfruit already cut. Restocked cacao nibs, got coconut oil. What else? Oh, I restocked on my vitamin B12 and I got some almond butter. So it was a good trip. Just went down, bought my stuff, puttered around a bit and came back. And today I want to talk about free yourself from your ego in 3 easy steps. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd go down there and hit that subscribe button. Then be sure you click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. It's funny, you know, I've spent a lot of my life by myself. I've done a lot of driving by myself, and I always kind of like, you know, you can't be on your phone, you can't be doing anything else other than driving. So I'm usually just thinking, you know, there's no conversation to be had. And I was thinking about ego, just various conversations with myself on things concerning ego. So when I got back, I didn't have a talk planned for today yet. And I do this sometimes and just see what happens. It's kind of like hitting a slot machine and seeing what comes up. I went to Google and I just searched letting go of ego. Went through a few articles and I came across one that I really like. This is a good one. And I will link, I'll do my best to remember to link in the description below. I've gotten better at that. The actual title of this article is Free Yourself from Your Ego in 3 Easy Steps by Amy Jirsa. So if you practice yoga or participate in any kind of self-reflective practice, then you're probably familiar with the concept of the ego. Now, we're not talking about the Freudian definition of ego, a mediator of sorts between the id, base desires, and the superego, idealistic desires. What we're talking about here is that little voice inside you that is the source of so much worry, anxiety, and suffering. The ego is what keeps you locked away in your own little world, separated from the present moment. See, the ego used to have an important job, getting us all hyped up and aware of our surroundings in case a saber-toothed tiger was lurking around the corner. These days we don't run into dangers like that all that often, but the ego, industrious little thing that it is, needs to feel employed and important. It does this by inspiring fear, self-judgment, and judgment of others. Let's think about this for a moment. Think about the source of any of your anxieties. I'm going to bet a lot of them have to do with future projections, i.e., if I don't get this raise then, or what if I never meet someone, or even what will I wear to the blank. But here's the secret, and this blew me away when I realized it. The future does not exist anywhere but in your mind. Listen to that. The future does not exist anywhere but in your mind. All of these future events you're worrying about, they don't exist. I mean, maybe you won't get that promotion. What happens then? Well, you'll deal with it in the moment just like you've always dealt with any hardship. Projecting about it and worrying about it is a useless waste of your energy. When you find yourself projecting, ask yourself the following question. Can I do anything about this right now? If the answer is no, then stop worrying. Listen to your breath and allow it to bring you into the moment. Do something that brings you joy. If the answer is yes, then stop worrying and get busy. The same thing applies to the past. The ego loves to keep us trapped there, rehashing old hurts, perceived mistakes, ancient regrets. What good do these obsessions do? Presumably, you've learned the lesson and you have or will apply it to future decisions. Hey, you did the best you could, now move on. So how do we free ourselves? Man, it ain't easy, that's for sure. Yeah, that bit about it being easy in the title, not really true. The concepts themselves are easy, sure, but enacting them, that's another story. The moment you think you have it figured out, you're suddenly anxious again, projecting forward or back, building fear upon fear until the present moment is so far gone that you have no idea what you did that day, aside from getting worked up about your bank balance or the state of your relationships or lack thereof. The ego thrives on separating you from the moment and from others who share in this moment with you. In the end, all I can tell you is what has helped me. I'm definitely not free from worry or anxiety, but at least now I have tools to identify and to move on. Let me tell you, that in itself is the greatest gift, the freedom that comes from realizing that we are not our thoughts. So here we go. Number 1, choose love. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but give it a chance. In the words of Gabrielle Bernstein, a fabulous spiritual and motivational speaker, whenever you're afraid, it's proof that you've turned your back on love and chosen to have faith in the ego. See, in her philosophy, love is the only emotion. Fear is an illusion. I know, it's heady stuff, but what helped me most was this. As soon as you have a fearful or anxious thought, tell yourself, again from Gabrielle Bernstein, love did not create this thought, and so it is not real. Even if you can't quite get on board the love train, don't worry about it. Just start telling yourself, if love did not create it, it's not real. Trust me on that. You'll have a whole new perspective on your situation. It's amazing how solutions suddenly occur to you once you're no longer trapped in the fear-anxiety loop. Number 2, never complain. Complaining keeps us locked in negativity, right? I mean, think about it. Who wants to hang out with someone who complains all the time? No one. So why complain even to yourself? This is the source from which self-disgust, self-hatred, and self-sabotage springs, and the ego loves it and loves it. This self-imposed separation. I love that one because that's something that I notice a lot all the time. It's almost like, opposite magnetic forces that repel each other. Like when I see people that complain a lot, I just have no desire whatsoever to be in their presence. Julie Hoyle, another wise woman and spiritual teacher, said the following: if we are able to maintain this practice of not complaining, the results are profound. When we complain, what we are doing is telling a story to ourselves in our minds and then verbally telling others about our personal response to what is taking place in our lives. The story centers on how an event affects me. In an instant, we are able to see that we have bought into the validity of our thoughts and opinions, and we want to broadcast them. Again, a little heady. But if you don't get it, don't worry. This is all you have to know. Just stop complaining. Try it for a week. See what happens. See how your life opens up for you. If you need more motivation, start a complaining fund. Every time you catch yourself complaining, drop a quarter or $1 or $20, whatever keeps you in line, into a jar. The ego always wants to improve on the current moment. Don't let it draw you down that path. Breathe. Find something beautiful. Focus. I did that a lot a few years back when that's been part of my practice now, but I nipped that in the bud. When I find myself starting to complain, even self-complain to myself, I'm like, nope, stop. And then a lot of times when I'm complaining, that's when I go do that gratitude check and I check off the things that I have to be grateful of and just tell myself, no, you don't need to be complaining. If all else fails, just be grateful. It's hard to be down and out while also feeling grateful. See, that's what it is. You overpower a lot of these feelings with just simple gratitude. You may try the above suggestions and find that you begin to get angry. You start to feel like all this self-work and self-reflection is pointless, and you should be able to feel and say and eat and think and watch what you like. This is totally normal. This is the ego defending itself. It's throwing up any obstacle it can into your path. Its main goal, remember, is to maintain the separation. The whole practice of dissolving ego is like one big detox. You know how crappy you feel after a night out spent wallowing in happy indulgence? The headaches, the cravings, the low mood? Yeah, that's your liver detoxing and ridding itself of the alcohol, sugar, bad fats, what have you. Damned if I don't remember those. The anger and self-righteousness you begin to feel after starting this process is the same thing. And just like a hangover, all you can do is wait it out and make the best choices you can stomach. Ooh, usually it was hair of the dog for me, which I do not recommend. So when the anger strikes, just let go of all the self-improvement stuff for a while. Do this instead. Make a list. Just grab a piece of paper and begin writing down all the things for which you are grateful. best thing you could ever do. I don't care if you can only think of one thing, and that one thing is only that you had an amazing breakfast. Be grateful for that breakfast, but be really grateful, and then keep going. Keep writing. Is the sun coming through the window? Or maybe it's raining and you love the rain. Maybe your favorite show is on later. Maybe your socks match and that makes you happy. Hey, I don't care. Just be grateful. Write it down. This is your one small step back toward your path. Working on yourself in this way can be exhausting, I know. But don't think you have to do it all at once. Don't feel like you failed if you have a fearful or anxious thought. That striving for perfection, what do you think it is? Yep, ego. The ego wants a destination and it wants to get there right now. The work you're doing here is a journey, and it's a journey taken in very small, manageable steps. Let each step be a destination of its own, if that's what drives you. Each breath, each moment, each movement you make is your destination. Even as you begin, know you have already arrived. That was a good one. I really enjoyed that one today. In fact, I'm already thinking, my brain can think while I'm even reading. I'm thinking I'm going to probably go read this some more tonight and ponder on it and let it sink in and think about it a little bit more, because a lot of that stuff, and that was a first reading. I kind of, when I found it, I went in, I scanned a little bit, saw, okay, I like this, but that was actually my first reading. And it resonated so much because some of the stuff is so spot on. Maybe that's why it resonated with me to begin with, because it's stuff that I've been doing that has been worked for me. I can crowd out most negative feelings, emotions, whatever, just simply by going back through that gratitude list. Man, when I was having this the worst, you know, back in, say, November of last year, October, where I was really stiff and tight all the time, I'd be laying in bed at night just rattling through my head. I'd be looking at the ceiling, literally picking things out, like I got a roof over my head, I've got food I'm about to go eat, I've got this going on. I'm not really in that much pain, I'm in discomfort, but I just started just really trying to focus on that gratitude. So hope you'll try a few of these out anyhow. And have a great rest of the weekend. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.